Have you ever wondered how to ensure a fulfilling life as you grow older? In this video, we'll reveal the key elements to a happy and secure old age health, companionship, and financial stability. We'll also share inspiring stories and practical tips on thriving even after profound loss. Watch until the end to discover how these insights can transform your later years into a time of joy and purpose. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Dear friends, as we advance in years, it is natural to ponder what we truly seek in our later years. Do we yearn for the presence of our children and grandchildren, or do we seek happiness and fulfillment with our life partner? Many people believe that, having dedicated a lifetime to raising their children, it is now their children's duty to take care of them in old age. While this notion may seem reasonable, it doesn't always align with reality. Our children have their own lives, with their own responsibilities and challenges. They may not always be available to provide the support we need as we age. Therefore, to ensure a peaceful and fulfilling old age, it is crucial to establish 3 foundational pillars of security for ourselves. First and foremost is health. At the forefront of a fulfilling and abundant life is our health. Many individuals are convinced that amassing substantial wealth is the key to a secure and joyous retirement, believing that financial stability will bring them freedom and satisfaction in their later years. However, it's crucial to recognize that this perspective overlooks a fundamental truth: without health, money loses its significance. The adage "health is wealth" is universally applicable and holds across all aspects of life. In our youth, it is all too common for people to become so absorbed in their careers and the pursuit of success that they neglect their well-being. We often sacrifice our health in the relentless chase for achievements and financial gain. Yet, as we age and confront the natural decline in our physical condition, many find themselves willing to exchange all the wealth they have accumulated just to restore their health. This realization underscores a critical lesson: delaying attention to our health until we are older is often too late to make a significant difference. A healthy body forms the cornerstone of a fulfilling and happy life. Even with substantial financial resources, if one is plagued by chronic illness or poor health, the joy and meaning of life can be severely diminished. As we advance in age, our physical strength and vitality naturally diminish, and while our children might wish to care for us, they may be constrained by their own busy lives, limited time, or inadequate resources. Without maintaining our health, we risk becoming dependent on others, which can place an emotional and practical burden on our loved ones. No parent desires to become a source of strain or inconvenience for their children. Maintaining good health is not only a personal responsibility but also a way to alleviate potential concerns for our family members. By prioritizing our health, we not only enhance our quality of life but also reduce the stress and worry that our children might otherwise face. Understanding and attending to our body's needs, engaging in regular exercise, and making conscious dietary choices are all crucial aspects of sustaining our health. A commitment to a healthy lifestyle not only helps ensure that we are not a burden to our loved ones but also enriches our own lives with vitality and energy. In essence, a healthy body is vital for preserving a youthful spirit and an engaged, active life, regardless of age. Do not underestimate the profound impact that good health can have on your overall well-being and the quality of your life. Prioritizing health ensures that you can enjoy the fullness of life and remain a positive, vibrant presence in the lives of those you care about. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Secondly, a life partner. As we move into the later stages of life, one of the greatest sources of happiness often stems from sharing our joys, triumphs, and experiences with our children and grandchildren. While these relationships are immensely rewarding, they only capture part of the larger picture. At any age, we continue to experience a spectrum of emotions and still require love, understanding, and companionship from a life partner. The adage, a spouse's care is worth more than a child's, holds especially true for couples who have had the privilege of growing old together. This care transcends the practical aspects of daily living, such as preparing meals or assisting with mobility. It encompasses the profound and nuanced understanding that only a lifelong partner can provide. But what if life has not granted us the companionship of a partner into our later years? For many, the absence of a spouse can bring a deep and pervasive sense of loneliness, even if one is financially secure and surrounded by loving children. This void can be strikingly evident, as illustrated by the story of Mr. Man from Hanoi. After losing his wife nearly 2 decades ago, Mr. Man dedicated himself to raising his children alone. Despite his financial stability and the affection of his grown children, he has struggled with the emptiness left by his wife's absence. A chance encounter with Mrs. Ho at a local community club offered him a renewed sense of companionship and mutual understanding. However, their desire to marry was met with significant opposition from his children, who were concerned about societal perceptions and financial consequences. This story highlights a common challenge faced by many elderly individuals: the critical need for companionship that is frequently misunderstood or overlooked by their families. In our later years, having a life partner is not merely a source of comfort, it is a wellspring of joy, a daily companion, and a support system. Even the most devoted children cannot always be present or provide the emotional support needed to fill the void left by a missing partner. For one's happiness, and to avoid inadvertently becoming a burden to loved ones, it is crucial to seek out and cherish someone who can share these later years, offering the companionship and understanding that enrich life's journey. Lastly, financial security. It is paramount as we age. Navigating through youth without a substantial financial cushion might be manageable, but in old age, financial stability becomes essential. During our younger years, our health and the opportunities before us often allow us to handle life's challenges with relative ease. We can rely on our physical strength, career prospects, and adaptability to overcome obstacles. However, as we grow older, our bodies naturally weaken, and the frequency of illness can increase, making financial resources indispensable. Many individuals may have the benefit of pensions or savings accumulated over a lifetime, providing a safety net in their later years. Yet, not everyone is so fortunate. For those who lack financial security, the responsibility often shifts to their children. This can place significant strain on the next generation, who may themselves be approaching retirement or dealing with their financial pressures. This added burden can create stress and tension, especially when the ability to earn a steady income is no longer an option. Having sufficient savings or a pension in old age offers numerous advantages. It ensures that you can take care of your health, manage medical expenses, and perhaps most importantly, maintain your independence. Financial security means you are less likely to become a financial burden on your children, allowing you to preserve your dignity and enjoy your later years without being at the mercy of others. It provides the freedom to make choices that enhance your quality of life, rather than being restricted by financial constraints. Without a solid financial foundation, old age can become a period marked by anxiety and dependence. The simple pleasures of life, which should be within reach, might become inaccessible due to financial limitations. Conversely, with adequate resources, you can embrace your golden years with confidence, free from the worries of money and the dependency on others. Many stories of elderly people facing mistreatment or neglect are often linked to financial dependency. By preparing for old age in advance, parents who truly care for their children will ensure they are not a burden, allowing their children to continue their lives without additional stress. In many traditional Asian cultures, children are seen as the primary support system for aging parents. However, in today's evolving world, it's crucial to take a more proactive approach, as observed in many developed nations. By focusing on maintaining your health, securing your finances, and nurturing your life partner, you can lay a foundation for a life of dignity and happiness. This proactive stance helps ensure that your later years are not overshadowed by unnecessary dependence on your children. The 3 pillars: health, a supportive life partner, and financial security serve as the most reliable basis for achieving a peaceful and fulfilling old age. Part 2: 3 Secrets to Thriving After Losing Your Spouse. Have you ever paused to consider how you would manage if you lost your spouse? Life is inherently unpredictable, and such a loss can leave you feeling not only bereft but also lost and adrift. The emotional vacuum created by the absence of a partner can seem overwhelming. Yet, what if there were proven strategies to transform not just your ability to endure this profound loss but to thrive in the wake of it? In this exploration, we delve into the compelling journeys of 3 individuals who have faced this immense challenge and emerged stronger, offering us valuable insights and practical advice on how to find hope, regain independence, and rediscover joy, even after such a heartbreaking loss. The nature of life is unpredictable, and the path of the person you love may not always align with your own. As Nozaki insightfully remarked, life is akin to a train journey, where everyone you meet can only travel with you for a portion of the trip. When they must disembark, it is important to cherish the moments you shared and feel grateful for their presence, however fleeting. To have a partner who accompanies you through the various stages of life, from youth to old age, is indeed a blessing. However, not all love stories are destined to last a lifetime. Circumstances such as illness or unforeseen tragedies can take away a loved one far too soon. When your spouse passes away, the once familiar home can feel eerily empty, as if the very essence of life's support has vanished. The emotional weight of their absence can be profound, leaving you grappling with a new reality. Despite the intense sorrow and pain, life continues its relentless march forward, and the deceased cannot be brought back. In this new chapter, it becomes crucial to find a way to heal while continuing to live a fulfilling life. In this guide, we highlight the experiences of 3 resilient individuals who offer heartfelt advice to those in middle age or later years facing the loss of a spouse. They emphasize 3 critical actions to avoid, which, if followed, can help you maintain a dignified and pleasant life in your later years. By learning from their stories and embracing their lessons, you can navigate your journey through grief and emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and well-being. 1. Immerse in excessive grief for too long. Imagine the profound emptiness that follows the loss of someone who has been your constant companion throughout most of your life. The depth of this loss can be overwhelming, with memories serving as both a source of comfort and a wellspring of pain. Callista's story exemplifies the heart-wrenching journey from despair to renewed purpose. At the age of 67, Callista faced the unimaginable: the death of her beloved husband. This moment marked a pivotal crossroads in her life, where she grappled with the question of how to continue when the person she cherished most was no longer by her side. Her path from profound grief to finding new meaning and hope serves as a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Callista reflected on her experience, saying, "When I was 64, my husband passed away. The memories of that time are still hard to accept. During those dark days, I felt like a walking corpse, overwhelmed by a sense of meaninglessness. There were moments when I wished I could just follow him. I often cried myself to sleep, especially during those long, sleepless nights, staring at the wide double bed where only I now lay. The sadness was inevitable, and every glance at our old photos, where we smiled so happily, reminded me of how much I missed him. I wondered if I should persist a little longer, for his sake. I knew he wouldn't want me to live in this state of sorrow. No matter how deeply I grieved, tears wouldn't bring him back. So I decided to carry on, living my life in a way that would bring him peace, even in the afterlife." If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Callista eventually came to an important realization. The separation brought about by death is indeed one of the greatest sorrows in life, but those who are gone cannot return. The living must continue, and while cherishing the past and sweet memories is important, it is equally crucial to embrace the present and look forward to future possibilities. Learning to move forward and live meaningfully in the present is not just a personal duty, but also a way to honor the memory of a loved one and allow them to rest in peace. In the face of such loss, the initial step is to remain calm. It is vital to comfort yourself, take care of your health, and maintain clarity of mind. Allowing grief to completely overwhelm you can prevent healing. Gradually adjust your mindset, regain your confidence, and strive to live a self-sufficient and resilient life. Find solace in simple pleasures. Eat when you are hungry, sleep when you are tired, take walks in the park, and explore your surroundings. Embrace solitude with grace and wisdom, nurturing your inner world and finding joy in the moments of quiet. Like savoring a fine wine, allow your solitary moments to enrich your life, offering depth and reflection. When loneliness strikes, reach out to friends, engage in conversations, and find pleasure in your own company. This approach can transform later years into a time of fulfillment and joy, even amidst solitude. Callista's experience underscores the significance of addressing and understanding the complexities of grief following the loss of a lifelong partner. Her journey illustrates that while dealing with such profound loss is incredibly challenging, it is also crucial to find a way to move forward, seek joy, and honor the life and love that once was. Firstly, Callista's experience illustrates that grief is a deeply universal emotion, unaffected by age, background, or cultural differences. Her journey reminds us that experiencing profound sorrow and loneliness after the loss of a loved one is a normal part of the human condition. Recognizing this can be comforting for those in mourning, as it helps them understand that their feelings are shared by many others who have faced similar losses. Secondly, Callista's transformation from despair to discovering a new sense of purpose highlights the critical role of resilience in overcoming adversity. Life often presents us with unforeseen and painful changes, but Callista's story demonstrates that it is possible to rebuild and find meaning even after experiencing significant loss. This narrative is particularly valuable because it offers hope to those who are struggling, showing them that although the pain may never fully fade, there is a path forward that can lead to renewed joy and fulfillment. Furthermore, Callista's journey underscores the vital importance of self-care and maintaining mental health during periods of intense grief. It is all too easy to neglect one's well-being in the aftermath of loss, but Callista's focus on her health, her ability to find joy in small things, and her decision to seek support from friends serve as practical examples for others in similar situations. Her actions encourage individuals to prioritize their care, reach out for help, and not shy away from embracing life once more. Additionally, her story highlights the healing power of memories. Callista found solace in reminiscing through old photographs and reflecting on joyful moments shared with her late husband. This act of honoring and cherishing positive memories can be a potent tool for managing grief, allowing individuals to keep their loved ones' spirits alive while continuing to move forward with their own lives. Lastly, Callista's experience illustrates the importance of living in the present and looking forward to the future. It teaches us that while it is natural to grieve and reflect on the past, it is equally essential to seek out new sources of happiness and purpose. Striking this balance is crucial for leading a fulfilling life, even in the face of profound loss. Have you ever wondered what life is like for elderly parents who live with their grown children? Is it a source of comfort and happiness, or does it bring unexpected challenges and heartache? Let's explore this through the poignant experience of Mrs. Amber, a 65-year-old widow who navigated life with her daughter before choosing to live independently once more. Her journey offers profound insights into the complexities of intergenerational living and the quest for true happiness in one's later years. Mrs. Amber's story: after the death of her husband, Mrs. Amber initially lived with her daughter and son-in-law. At first, she saw this arrangement as a natural progression of mutual support. She had raised her daughter, and now, in her old age, her daughter would be there for her. However, as time went on, Mrs. Amber's experience revealed the unforeseen challenges that such arrangements can entail. My husband and I had both retired, and I had never truly considered the possibility of living alone. We had planned to grow old together, but after my husband's passing, I found myself alone. At that time, my daughter had just welcomed a new baby into the family. My son-in-law invited me to move in with them, suggesting it would be a good arrangement for my retirement. I was grateful for their kindness and took solace in helping with my new grandson, whom I viewed as a symbol of my late husband. I devoted myself to assisting around the house and caring for my grandson, Mrs. Amber recalls. Initially, her daughter and son-in-law provided her with a modest monthly allowance, but this support dwindled as they relied on her pension, which, while adequate for her needs, was insufficient to cover the expenses of their family of 4. Despite several discussions about the increasing financial strain, Mrs. Amber's daughter's responses were often dismissive, with sporadic and minimal financial contributions. The dynamics of living together led to unavoidable conflicts. Living with my daughter and her family meant that our differing views and habits frequently clashed. I found myself criticizing my daughter's spending habits and her laissez-faire approach to my grandson's education. I believed in the importance of discipline from a young age, while they preferred a more relaxed approach. Over time, this difference in parenting philosophies created a rift between us, leading to less polite and respectful interactions. Mrs. Amber's reflections on her time spent living with her daughter ultimately led her to a crucial decision. After considerable thought, I chose to return to living on my own. When I expressed my desire to move out, my daughter and son-in-law indicated they would miss me but seemed relieved. It was clear that my presence, once seen as a necessary support, had become more of a burden as they adjusted to their new life without the need for my assistance. Mrs. Amber's journey underscores the complexity of living with grown children in old age. While it may initially seem like an ideal solution for both parties, the reality can be fraught with emotional and practical challenges. Her story reveals that sometimes, seeking independence and finding one's path can lead to greater fulfillment and peace of mind. It highlights the importance of considering not just the immediate benefits of intergenerational living, but also the long-term impact on relationships and personal happiness. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Mrs. Amber's journey embracing independence in the golden years. When Mrs. Amber first returned home after her husband's passing, she encountered an unexpected sense of loneliness and idleness. The once bustling days now felt simple and unremarkable, leaving her grappling with an emptiness that seemed to consume her without the emotional support she had relied on. Initially, the void was profound. The emotional anchor that had once been her husband was no longer there, and the silence of her home was overwhelming. However, over time, Mrs. Amber discovered the art of embracing solitude. She began to reconnect with forgotten interests, enrolling in calligraphy and painting classes, and joining community groups where she met a few like-minded individuals. These new activities and friendships slowly filled her days with purpose and joy. She realized that the freedom and leisure she had longed for were, in fact, within her reach. Embracing this newfound independence allowed her to finally experience the retirement she had envisioned: a life of autonomy, personal fulfillment, and happiness. Mrs. Amber's story serves as a compelling reminder of the significance of maintaining independence and self-reliance as we age. With increasing life expectancy, many individuals find themselves living alone after the loss of a spouse, facing the challenge of navigating this new phase of life. While the prospect of living with grown children might appear to offer a solution, it often introduces unexpected complications. One key reason for maintaining independence is the potential for conflict arising from generational differences. Mrs. Amber's experience underscores how divergent views on money management, child-rearing practices, and everyday habits can lead to tension within a multi-generational household. This issue is not unique to any particular culture, but is a common challenge faced by families worldwide. For example, in the US, the desire for personal independence frequently clashes with the need for familial support, creating a complex dynamic. Additionally, the emotional toll of feeling like a burden can be substantial. Mrs. Amber experienced feelings of unappreciation and even resentment after dedicating years to supporting her daughter's family. This sense of being a burden can be profoundly disheartening, leading to feelings of worthlessness and depression among elderly parents. In American culture, where independence is highly prized, the concept of being a burden can be especially difficult to endure. Another crucial factor is the pursuit of personal fulfillment, which is essential for a happy and healthy retirement. Mrs. Amber's eventual discovery of joy through her hobbies and social interactions highlights the importance of staying engaged and active. Many seniors in the U.S. find satisfaction in community centers, clubs, and volunteer opportunities, which offer a sense of purpose and connection. In conclusion, while living with grown children might seem like a practical option for elderly parents, Mrs. Amber's story illustrates that independence often leads to greater satisfaction and well-being. Encouraging seniors to maintain their autonomy and seek out their paths can result in a more fulfilling and meaningful retirement. This lesson underscores the value of self-reliance and personal growth, even in the later stages of life. This resonates deeply within American culture, where the pursuit of happiness and independence is considered a fundamental value. For those contemplating finding a new partner or remarrying later in life, it's crucial to reflect on the experiences of others before making such a significant decision. Take, for instance, the story of Mrs. Fong, who at 62 believed she had found companionship after the passing of her first husband, only to confront unforeseen challenges and heartbreak. Her journey serves as a poignant reminder and cautionary tale for anyone considering remarriage in their golden years. Through Mrs. Fong's experiences, we will delve into the complexities and realities of elderly remarriage, offering insights that could potentially save you from future regrets. Consider the experiences shared by Mrs. Kelly, who was also in her 60s. After the death of her first husband at 53, Mrs. Kelly found herself contemplating a new chapter in her life. 3 years later, she remarried, only to find herself divorced within a year. Reflecting on her second marriage brings her pain and frustration. "I want to share my experience," she says, "to remind others who are considering remarriage that it's not always as straightforward as it seems." At the age of 50, Mrs. Kelly had retired, looking forward to a life of travel with her husband after his retirement. However, her plans were thwarted when he passed away from illness before he could retire. The grief from his loss was profound, and for a long time, she was engulfed in sorrow. Her son, concerned about her well-being, suggested that she move in with him, but Mrs. Kelly was reluctant to impose on him and his family. Instead, she enrolled herself in a dance and poetry recitation class, hoping to lift her spirits. It was in this class that Mrs. Kelly met Mr. G. Initially, they were just acquaintances, but when Mrs. Kelly injured her ankle, Mr. G went out of his way to help her. He took her to the hospital and cared for her during her recovery. Their bond grew stronger, and 2 months later, Mr. G proposed, expressing his desire for mutual support. Though Mrs. Kelly was pleased, she wanted to discuss the proposal with her son first. Her son had no objections but recommended meeting Mr. G's family. The dinner with Mr. G's family went well, and despite her son's advice to observe more before rushing into marriage, Mrs. Kelly felt confident and went ahead with the marriage. Initially, the marriage seemed promising, though Mrs. Kelly took on all the household responsibilities, which she didn't mind at first. However, tension arose when Mrs. Kelly's old friends invited her to travel. Mr. G was displeased, arguing that her absence would leave the housework undone. This led to a heated argument where Mr. G made hurtful remarks about her worth. For the first time, Mrs. Kelly began to doubt the marriage. The situation worsened when Mr. G's son divorced, leaving his grandson in their care. Although Mrs. Kelly tried to care for the child as if he were her own, the child's spoiled behavior and tantrums became overwhelming. Mrs. Kelly suggested that Mr. G's son take back the child, but Mr. G vehemently opposed, telling her not to interfere and accusing her of failing in her role. This added to her sense of injustice and frustration. Ultimately, Mrs. Kelly realized that remarrying at her age brought complex challenges. Integrating into a new partner's family and adjusting to their established dynamics proved difficult. After enduring months of stress, Mrs. Kelly chose to file for divorce. The process was relatively smooth, but the experience left her reflecting on her situation. While the prospect of living alone might seem lonely, she now believes it might be preferable to the myriad problems she faced in her second marriage. Understanding the challenges and risks of remarriage in later years is essential. Mrs. Kelly's story illustrates the potential complications that can arise from merging lives at an advanced age. Elderly remarriages often involve deeply ingrained habits and viewpoints that have developed over decades, making it challenging to live harmoniously with a new partner. Unlike younger couples, older individuals might find it more difficult to adapt to a new partner's lifestyle and expectations. Mrs. Kelly's experiences with household responsibilities and travel plans highlight the significant stress and dissatisfaction that can arise from such conflicts. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Secondly, gaining acceptance from a new partner's family can be a challenging and delicate process. When entering a new relationship later in life, older children and grandchildren may have long established routines and expectations that a new spouse could disrupt. In Mrs. Kelly's situation, her new marriage with Mr. G was subjected to additional strain due to resistance from Mr. G's son and grandson. The lack of acceptance and cooperation from family members can create an environment fraught with tension and resentment, which can severely hinder the ability of the new marriage to flourish and thrive. Additionally, emotional readiness plays a crucial role in navigating new relationships after the loss of a spouse. Feelings of loneliness and fear about the future can compel someone to seek out companionship quickly. However, this sense of urgency can lead to overlooking important warning signs and red flags. Mrs. Kelly's decision to marry Mr. G hastily, despite her son's prudent advice to take time to observe and reflect, eventually resulted in disappointment and another divorce. It is essential to allow oneself adequate time for emotional healing and to carefully evaluate personal needs and expectations before committing to a new marriage. Ensuring that one is emotionally prepared and fully understands what they are seeking in a partner can prevent potential pitfalls and lead to a more fulfilling and stable relationship. Moreover, financial and legal issues often arise in elderly remarriages and can add another layer of complexity. Concerns such as inheritance, healthcare decisions, and the division of assets can become contentious and complicated. Although Mrs. Kelly's story does not delve deeply into these matters, they remain critical considerations for anyone contemplating remarriage later in life. Addressing these issues with clarity and mutual agreement can help mitigate conflicts and ensure a smoother integration of families and assets. In conclusion, while seeking companionship in old age is indeed valuable, Mrs. Kelly's experience highlights the importance of careful deliberation and thorough evaluation before choosing to remarry. Understanding and preparing for these potential challenges can assist individuals in making well-informed decisions that contribute to more harmonious and stable relationships. Life after losing a spouse can be exceedingly difficult, but it is possible to rediscover joy and fulfillment. By avoiding prolonged grief, minimizing excessive dependence on children, and refraining from rushing into a new relationship, individuals can build a rich and meaningful life for themselves. Embrace your independence, honor the memories of your loved one, and remain open to new experiences. Prioritize your health, engage in activities that bring you happiness, and foster new connections with others. Or by making thoughtful choices and focusing on your well-being, you can continue to thrive even after such a significant loss. The stories of Callista, Mrs. Amber, and Mrs. Kelly demonstrate that while grief is a natural part of the healing process, resilience and self-care are fundamental to moving forward and finding light even in the darkest times. Thank you for watching. We've explored how to ensure a fulfilling life as we age, from maintaining health and nurturing relationships to securing financial stability. We also delved into thriving after losing a loved one and finding happiness in solitude. So, what have you learned from this video? Share one insight or practice you plan to bring into your own life in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're applying these lessons to create a more fulfilling and secure future. If you like this video, please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share it with others who might find it helpful. Also, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more content like this. Your support means a lot and helps us continue to share valuable insights. See you in the next video.